Thursday, August 4th, the need to persevere. Read the story of Jacob wrestling with God, Genesis 32. What does this story say to us about perseverance, even amid great discouragement? Keep the whole context of Jacob's situation in mind before you answer. We can know what is right and exercise our wills to do the right thing, but when we are under pressure, it can be very difficult to keep holding on to God and His promises. That's because we are weak and fearful. Therefore, one of the most important strengths of the Christian is perseverance, the ability to keep going despite wanting to give up. One of the greatest examples of perseverance in the Bible is Jacob. Many years before, Jacob had tricked his brother Esau and his father into giving him the birthright, Genesis 27. And ever since, he had been running in fear of Esau's desire to kill him. Even though he had been given wonderful promises of God's guidance and blessing in his dream of a ladder reaching to heaven, Genesis 28, he was still scared. Jacob was desperate for God's assurance that he was accepted and the promises made to him many years before were still true. As he fought someone who was actually Jesus, Jacob had his hip dislocated. From that point on, it could not have been possible to fight, as the pain would have been too excruciating. There must have been a subtle shift from fighting to hanging on. Jacob is hanging on to Jesus through unbearable pain until he receives an assurance of his blessing. So, Jesus says to him, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." Genesis 32:26. Jacob's blessing came because he held on through the pain. So it is with us. God also may dislocate our hip and then call us to hang on to Him through our pain. Indeed, God allowed the painful scars to continue. Jacob was still limping when he met his brother. To outside appearances, it was a weakness, but for Jacob, it was an indication of his strength. What are some practical choices you can make? Associations, lifestyle, reading material, health habits, spiritual life that will help you better persevere with the Lord amid discouragement and temptation. From Testimonies for the Church, Volume 2, page 130 and 131, it says, God requires all to possess moral courage, steadiness of purpose, fortitude and perseverance, minds that cannot take the assertions of another, but which will investigate for themselves before receiving or rejecting, that will study and weigh evidence and take it to the Lord in prayer. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Now the condition. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. This petition for wisdom is not to be a meaningless prayer, out of mind as soon as finished. It is a prayer that expresses the strong, earnest desire of the heart, arising from a conscious lack of wisdom to determine the will of God. After the prayer is made, if the answer is not realized immediately, do not weary of waiting and become unstable. Waver not. Cling to the promise. Faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it. Like the importunate widow, urge your case, being firm in your purpose. Is the object important and of great consequence to you? It certainly is. Then waver not, for your faith may be tried. If the thing you desire is valuable, it is worthy of a strong, earnest effort. You have the promise. Watch and pray. Be steadfast, and the prayer will be answered. For is it not God who has promised? If it costs you something to obtain it, you will prize it the more when obtained. You are plainly told that if you waver, you need not think you shall receive anything of the Lord. A caution is here given, not to become weary, but to rest firmly upon the promise. If you ask, he will give you liberally, and upbraid not. God bless.